Okay, class, we started on section 2.3, solving linear equations. Here's a step-by-step guide for solving a linear equation in one variable. Not all of these steps are necessary to solve every equation. It says, number one, simplify the algebraic expression on each side. We need to distribute if necessary and combine like terms if necessary. Number two, collect all the variable terms on one side of the equation. Use the addition property. Get all terms without a variable on the other side of the equation. So basically it's saying get all the variables on one side, get all the numbers on the other side. Then number three, get the variable by itself. Then we just get the variable by itself by subtracting, adding, multiplying, or dividing. It says here 4, check the proposed solution in the original equation. Okay, now we go to example 1a. Okay, we look here on the left side. We do have like terms. We could do 4x minus 9x, which is a negative 5x, plus 22 equals 3x plus 30. Now, we need to get all of the variables on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So let's move the variables all to the left. So we will subtract 3x on both sides. Negative 5x minus 3x is a negative 8x, plus 22 is equal to 30. Now we need to move this positive 22 over here with the 30. So we will subtract 22 on both sides. And we'll have a negative 8x is equal to 8. Then we will divide off this negative 8 off x. And x equals negative 1. Now example 1 tells us to solve and check. So our answer here is negative 1. So we can go off here to the side and substitute in negative 1 for x. Now what I would do is this here. Because we have limited room here, let me scroll down. Or better yet, I am going to push down problem C. So we could check this. All right, that's good. Now we come back up here, and now we could check problem A. Okay, so I would take the original problem, but wherever x is, I would substitute in negative 1. Okay, so now we have 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4. A minus 9 times a negative 1 will give you positive 9 plus 22. And that equals to 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 plus 30. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5 plus 22 is equal to negative 3 plus 30, which is 27. Now, 5 plus 22 is 27, and 27 equals 27. So your answer is negative 1. Now we go here to B. Now, we need to distribute here. So we will have 5, a minus 4 times 2x is a minus 8x. A minus 4 times a minus 3 will give you positive 12. And that equals 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times a minus x is a minus 3x. Now we combine like terms here. We will add negative 8x, and 5 plus 12 is 17, and that equals to 12 minus 3x. Now, we need to get all of the x's on one side. This time I'm going to move it from the left side to the right side. So we will add 8x on both sides. And we will have 17 is equal to 12 plus 5x. Now we will subtract 12 on both sides. And we will have 5 is equal to 5x. We will divide each side by 5. And 1 is equal to x. Now, 1 equals x, and we could check it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw this little line here so you would know that this doesn't go with this problem here. So we're going to substitute in 1 for x. So we will have 5 minus 4, and in parentheses we will have 2 times 1 minus 3 is equal to 3 times 4 minus 1. Now we substitute in 1 wherever x appeared. So we will have 5 minus 4. And we will do what's in parentheses first. This will be 2 minus 3 is equal to 3 times 4 minus 1 is 3. Now we will have 5 minus 4. 2 minus 3 is a negative 1. And it equals 3 times 3, which is 9. So we will have 5, a minus 4 times a negative 1 is positive 4. And it equals 9. So 9 equals 9. So your answer here is 1. Okay, now we scroll down here to C. Now C is basically the same type of problem, but this time, well, I'm going to go through it. Okay, so we need to distribute. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 4 is 8. Now, since this minus sign is in front of this parenthesis, it changes the sign of everything on the inside. So this positive 4x becomes a minus 4x. This minus 1 becomes a plus 1. And it equals 2. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 2 is 6. Now we combine like terms. 6x minus 4x is 2x. 8 plus 1 is 9. And it equals 3x plus 6. Now, we need to get all of our x's on one side. So let's subtract 3x on both sides. 2x minus 3x is negative x. Plus 9 equals 6. Now we will subtract 9 on both sides. And we will have negative x equals negative 3. Now, we need to take this equation here, and we need to divide each side by negative 1. So x will be positive 3. Now we want to go through and check this. We're going to put in 3 wherever x appears. So we will have 2 times 3 times 3 plus 4 minus 4 times 3 minus 1 is equal to 3 times 3 plus 2. Now, we look inside this parenthesis here. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 4 minus 4 times 3 is 12 minus 1. And that equals to 3 times 3 plus 2 is 5. Now, we will have 2 times 9 plus 4 is 13 minus 12 minus 1 is 11 is equal to 15. Now 2 times 13 we know is 26 minus 11 equals 15. 26 minus 11 is 15, and 15 does equal 15. So your answer is x equals 3. Now for the rest of these problems here, you could check it at your leisure. But because of the length of these videos, I'm just going to go through with the solving process, and you could check it at your leisure. So we look here at A. We have 5/6k minus 3/2 is equal to 7/3. Now, whenever you have an equation, that means an equal sign, we could get rid of all of these denominators. And we could do that by finding the least common denominator or the common denominator. We know the common denominator is 6, 2, and 3 is 6. So we will multiply this whole equation by 6. Now, we'll put this as 6 over 1. So this would be 30 over 6k minus 18 over 2 is equal to 42 over 3. If we had 6 times 5, which gave us 30, and 1 times 6 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18, and 1 times 2 is 2. 6 times 7 is 42, and 1 times 3 is 3. 30 divided by 6 is 5. So it's 5k minus 18 divided by 2 is 9 is equal to 42 divided by 3 is 14. So now we will add 9 to both sides, and we will have 5k is equal to 23. We will divide each side by 5, and k is equal to 23 over 5. Okay, now we go to B. Now we look here. We had denominators of 3 and the rest is 5. So we will multiply everything by the common denominator of 3 and 5, which is 15. So this will give us 15y over 3 minus 30 over 5 equals 15y over 5 minus 30 over 5. Now 15 divided by 3 is 5, so we have 5y minus 30 divided by 5 is 6 is equal to 15 divided by 5 is 3, bring down our y, minus 30 divided by 5 is 6. Now, we can subtract 3y on both sides, and we will have 2y minus 6 equals negative 6. Now, we're going to add 6 on both sides, and we will have 2y is equal to 0. We divide each side by 2, and we will have y equals 0 as our final answer. Okay, now we scroll down here. It says objective 3, solve linear equations containing decimals. Now, it tells you here, multiply every term on both sides of the equation by a power of 10. The exponent on 10 will equal the greatest number of decimal places in the equation. Just like with the fractions, we could get rid of the decimals in the problem. But first, let's take a look here. This will give us 0.3x minus 4 equals, we use the distributive property, this will be 0.1x plus 0.1 times 10 is 1. Now to get rid of these decimals, we will multiply everything by 10. And I will explain to you why we multiply everything by 10. Now we multiply everything by 10 because we look at the most amount of digits you have behind one of the decimals. You only have one digit. The greatest amount of digits you have behind the decimal is 1, so you'll multiply it by 10. If it was 2, it'll be 100. If it was 3, it'll be 1,000. So 10 times 0.3x is 3x. 10 times a minus 4 is minus 40. 10 times 0.1x will be 1x. And 10 times 1 is 10. Now, again, we must get all the variables on one side and all the numbers on the other. So we will subtract 1x on both sides. And this will give us 2x minus 40 is equal to 10. Now we're going to add 40 on both sides. So we will have 2x is equal to 50. Divide each side by 2, and x is 25. And that is our final answer. Now we look here at B. Now we have 2.4 times the parenthesis of 1.8t minus 3.8. Now what we could do is this here. Okay, now what we could do first with this equation here, we do not have to do the distributive property. What we could do, we could divide each side by 2.4 to get rid of that 2.4 that's multiplied by this equation. And that will leave us 1.8t minus 3.8, and that will equal to 6.1. Now we could do the same thing we did over here. The greatest amount of digits we have behind the decimal is 1. So we'll multiply everything by 10. So this will give us 18t minus 38 equals 61. Now we could go through and solve. We will add 38 on both sides, and that will give us 18t is equal to 99. Now we'll divide each side by 18, and t is equal to, now 99 and 18 both has 9 in common. So we'll divide both by 9, and that will give us 11 over 2. And that's it.